Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to another episode of Apologists, Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we started off with the whole Mason system thing, kind of going between the past and the present to try and figure out the story of what happened to Phoenix. I'm not entirely sure what's going on right now, but yeah, once we finish this whole game that Phoenix has mentioned, we can go back to the current trial. Yeah, we adopted Trucy, of course. We adopted Trucy. We talked to Zach after, like, 7 years, which is, like, I think it's right before the events of Turnabout Trump is when Phoenix found out that that was Zach Grammary. Yeah, things happened. But, yeah. I guess we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go into Solitary Cell 13. Present day, Central Prison, Solitary Cell 13. Well, well, isn't this an unexpected surprise? What errand brings you down to my cramped confines? Gavin. Is this your idea of revenge? Phoenix, right? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right? You look well, Phoenix Wright. You too, Gavin. Shoot. It's not what I meant to do. Sorry. There's a yellow envelope. Life has been full of surprises for both of us. I've no doubt you never expected to lose that attorney's badge of yours. And I'll bet you never expected to wind up here. Shady Smith was the name of the man you killed. Did you know who he really was? Who he was? Zach Grammary. You know, the defendant. I remember him, of course. But you say Smith was Zach? Impossible. Don't even try to tell me it was a coincidence. What did I just say? Life is full of surprises, don't you think? After that trial, you were arrested and found guilty, but your motive was never made clear. A mistake I plan to remedy. You're not an attorney anymore, Phoenix Wright. What possible conclusion do you think this investigation of yours can lead to? I killed a man named Smith with a bottle because I am an evil human being. Isn't that enough? Not for me, it isn't. I need to know why you did it, Gavin. You recall that case 7 years ago? Ah, yes, the trial where Zach Grammary pulled his famous vanishing act. My brother won his fair share of praise and adoration for that trial, as I recall. Genius prosecutor reveals crooked attorney, was it? That was when I met you, wasn't it? Was it now? The Bar Association Review Board voted unanimously for the strictest punishment. Unanimous, save for one dissenting opinion. Yours. It was my brother who was responsible for putting you in that position, after all. For 7 years we've been friends. And yet I still don't understand you. But right, your friendship toward me was never pure. You suspected me then as you still do now, don't you? Honestly, right now, I'm not sure what I think. You didn't just brain a guy with a juice bottle for no reason. Tell me why you did it. Persistent, aren't you? I came here because I remembered something. The night of our game, Zach Grammary mentioned your name, Gavin. That reminds me. I saw a familiar face as I entered this restaurant. He did not seem to notice me, however. Gavin, I believe his name was. After that, he was killed, and I asked you to help me. Because I remembered your kindness when everyone had turned their back on me. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that? Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. I have to know. Why did you kill Shady Smith? No. Zach Gramery! What? Whoa! I've never seen Cyclops like these. Dark. Cold. Full of despair. Can I even unlock these things? What? Something wrong, right? No, it's nothing. You shouldn't push yourself so hard. Life is to be taken easy, you know. He's doing his nails. What the fuck? That envelope's been bothering me since I came in here. It's not nice to peek at other people's mail. You get mail here in jail? That I do, though they read it first apparently. Still, I'm allowed the pleasure of correspondence. Packages and the like are a different matter, however. Looks like sneaking a peek is out of the question. You're thinking, what self-respecting man would use nail polish? Not really. I know appearances are a big thing with you. You know what I say? One cannot live a beautiful life without beautiful nails. First rate in all things, except nothing else. That certainly does look like first-rate nail polish. I like the sparkly bottle. It's crystal. If you're so drawn to it, please, have one. It's on me. What do I present to you, Mr. Gavin? What do you think about this, Gavin? I hardly need remind you that I am not a free man. I care little about the outside world, save advances in chair technology. No information forthcoming there, I guess. What the hell was this? Gavin! Okay. "7 years ago, Drew Studio. I decided on sooner, Drew Misham, was it? I haven't done anything illegal. And I didn't come here to whine about past events. I wanted to ask you some questions. I suppose you have that right. That day, the entire court descended into chaos. Only you stood still, your eyes calmly watching. I admit, it made quite an impression on me. I'm used to finding myself in outrageous situations. Phoenix Wright, was it? I'll answer what I can. I'm not sure, but it feels like I'm being watched. Intensely. Oh, it's little Vera. Ah, this is my daughter. Vera, say hello. Aww. She's gone. Shall we begin then? Judging from this place, you're a painter? Not, sadly, a profitable one. I've never sold a painting. As a source of considerable embarrassment. I would be able to get by, were it only me. Your daughter? Our mother grew weary of me and left. I don't want her to grow up needy, Mr. Wright. That is why I began my other occupation. Forgeries. Don't look at me with those eyes. I know what it is that I do. More than half of the paintings they bring me are stolen. And who knows what my corpse copies are used for. But some of your works aren't paintings, correct? You may not believe me when I tell you this, but that was my first work outside painting. What? To think it would be used as evidence in a murder trial. I never even imagined the possibility. Then why did you take the job? I was well paid. Very well paid. I think he feels worse about it than I do. The past is hard to escape. Honestly, the sooner I can put this behind me, the better. With apologies to you, of course. Sorry, but it's not going to be quite so easy. He's trying to forget what he made. Looks like I'll have to remind him. What the hell was this? Your work. Don't try to pretend you've forgotten. Sure, all you did was make a copy, but that copy might have destroyed the life of an innocent man. I'm responsible too, which is why I have to know. And you have to tell me. I knew it would be difficult to escape this. Then, let's talk. Well then, ready to tell me about this work you did? It was unlike anything I had attempted before. I guess it would be a little different from paintings. That is not what I mean. In all my previous works, it sufficed to create a copy. This wasn't a copy? The client gave me two things that day. The first was a sample page, as reference. The second, a printed document I can only surmise was written by my client. So you use the real writing as a reference to reproduce what the client wrote? Yes. As I said, it was my first job of that nature. So, who was your client? As I said in court, I do not know. Really? Even for such a suspicious request? If it was me, I want to know as much as I could about the requester. I never met them. Not personally. Two. Cyclock, of course. Seems like you're still hiding something. Something about this work. Well, here we go. That's so cool. That's so cool. It's like, I played this game before. I don't remember that at all. That's so cool. What are you hiding from me, Mr. Misham? I'm sorry, but I really don't know. I never met the client. True, when I asked the client's name, there were no Cyclocks in sight. Regardless, you're hiding something. You have to be. Otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. Why are you doing this to me? Well, I made my stand. No backing down now. So, what's Mr. Misham hiding? Not the forger. Wait, what? Hold on. He can't be hiding the client. The forger or the sample? I can pretty much piece together what it is from what you said. What is it then? You told me what you knew about the client, and I couldn't see any Cyclocks. Psycho-locks? Is that some sort of asylum security? Or a new hairstyle, perhaps? But then they did show up, didn't they? Who was your client? As I said in court, I do not know. Really? Even for such a suspicious request? If it was me, I want to know as much as I could about the requester. I never met them. Not personally. Not personally? Those words triggered the Cyclock. Again with the Psycho-locks. Now I really must know what they are. So you didn't meet with the client, but someone else did. Maybe the real forger behind this evidence? Perhaps I'm hung up on this lock business, and I'm afraid you've lost me. Yeah, well, I didn't come here to talk about Cyclocks. As long as I come to the right conclusion, it doesn't matter how I got there. And your conclusion is? The real forger behind this wasn't you, Mr. Misham. Poppycock! I don't know what you're talking about. That's my work, I tell you. Made here in my studio. Who else could it have been but me? That's the real question, isn't it? If the forger wasn't you, then I don't have any other people to choose from. The real forger at Drew's studio is... Little Vera. The real forger is your daughter, Vera Misham, isn't it? Ridiculous! My daughter's only 12 years old, Mr. Wright. I've always been one for landscapes, not surrealism. Nice comeback, but you're shaking in your boots. I've got you now. The only two people with access to the studio are you and your daughter. The psych locks tell me you're not the forger, which makes your daughter the only possibility. I feel very much on the verge of going psycho-lock myself. Okay. I don't know how you knew, but you're right. The one who made this page was my daughter, Vera, not I. She's only 12, a genius you might call her. A precocious little girl outshining her father. There's been a lot of that going around recently. I let her play in the studio and she watched me. She taught herself in that way. The drafting tools and analytical devices I bought when they became necessary. They're my little girl's playthings now. Ah, do I detect a bit of fatherly pride? So, Vera was the one who made this page. Would she know who the client was then? Actually, the client came once. Here, to the studio. What? Why didn't you say so sooner? But their face was covered and they did not want to talk to me. So, they talked to your daughter? I will speak only with the artist, the client told me. That little girl might know something about him. Okay, what do I do now? Maybe I should talk to her father a bit more? Or is it time to turn my attention to Vera? Mr. Misham, I have a request. Let me guess. You'd like to speak with my daughter. Can I? My daughter has never been one to talk to strangers. She's quite shy, extremely so actually. With only one exception. Which was? Oddly enough, it was that client. I left the studio while they talked. I returned when they had finished, and she was laughing. It was the first time I'd seen anything of the sort. Please, let me speak with her. All right. Uh-oh, this could be tough. Hey, Vera. Vera, was it? Would you like to have a friendly chat? I'm Phoenix Wright, ex-lawyer, and pianist. I'm still looking for the keys that say Do Re Me. I can't find them anywhere. I'm not good at this. I need something to get through to this girl. The amazing Mr. Hat. What do you think about this? I think I just made her nervous. I need something to grab her attention, but what? I don't know, Mr. Hat? Notebook page. Attention? Huh? What? Vera, was it? Ah, god damn it. Maybe I'll just sidle on over here for a closer look. There's nail polish. That's a pretty bottle. Don't touch that, please! Well, I'll get in trouble. It belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere where she can see it. She looks over at it often. There's a light pink fluid inside. Nail polish, I'm guessing. That's an awfully small frame. What's that inside it? A stamp? Please don't touch that. I'll get in trouble. That stamp belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere she can see it. That's Zack and Valent. The Grammarys, isn't it? The post office issued that commemorative stamp last year, when the Grammarys were at the height of their popularity. Not anymore. Now that one of them has vanished off the face of the earth. Vera went to see one of their shows when she was quite small. She's been a dedicated fan ever since. She watched them every time they came on TV, until the end. I see. That stamp's quite hard to come by, I hear. I still wonder how she got her hands on it. We just take the stamp, I guess. What's this red envelope? Don't touch that! That's, it's quite important. The painter's face just changed hues. Guess I better behave, though it's tempting to just grab it. This is you and Vera? Yes, so we took that one quite recently. I know, I'm a painter. Why not paint a portrait instead? I've never been that good at people, unfortunately. Right. Shouldn't you practice? And then there's this.
My stamp.
Hey, she spoke! She can talk! Yeah, so this stamp, how can I keep her talking? Isn't Troop Grammary amazing? Yes?
Oh.
I especially like those two, Zach and Valent. I mean, they're, just so magical.
Aren't they?
Yeah. Whenever I go to one of their shows, I'm like, whoa! Magic! You know?
Me too. I love them. They're so cool. It's like magic, yeah.
Alright, she's talking. Not saying much, but it's a start.
I went and saw them with Father the other day. The opening ceremony at the Grammary Museum of Magic.
The Grammary Museum? They have one of those? I guess it makes sense now that they have their own commemorative stamp. So, have you been at one of their shows?
Just once, when I was little with Father. The Grammary's on stage. It was like a dream. Disappearing, reappearing, cutting apart, putting back together. They do it all.
Yeah. Maybe you can keep telling me stuff like this. You know, about Zach and Valent, maybe?
Oh, sure.
Alright. Better get asking before she changes her mind.
I don't go outside much. I like to paint in here.
Why don't you like the outside?
There's bad people out there.
Well, true, but there's lots of good people too. Actually, I should tell you. She was almost kidnapped once. Kidnapped? Since then, she's been, well, you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house. I see. Wait, but that doesn't make sense. She said she went to the Grammary Museum. With you, in fact. Yes, actually, she was quite insistent on it, much to my surprise. That was the first and last time she expressed such a desire to me.
That person gave me a good luck charm.
A good luck charm?
From when I absolutely had to go outside.
Yes, apparently, she received something. A gift. From that client, actually. She won't tell me what it was.
Father, I told you to keep that a secret.
From that client, huh? I have to hear about this. So, your father tells me you're good at painting all sorts of things?
I really like painting, a lot. Father is always very happy when I paint them exactly the same.
So, you did this too?
Oh, yes, that was my first job.
Your first?
All I used to do was paint the same thing I saw, but this was totally different. The pen slips and the way the writer held the pen and the pressure on the nib, I had to use a microscope and analyze it on the computer.
She seems happy. Odd. Her work was the last nail in the Grammary coffin. I guess no one told her.
They're the best in the world!
Huh? Oh, you mean Troopy. Again, I said Troopy once before.
Father gave it to me.
Your father? But I asked him about it. He didn't know how you got it.
I guess I just took it, yeah.
Took it?
Father got a letter from that person.
That person? You mean that letter was from the client?
Oh, we talked about the Grammaries forever that day. I'm sure that's why I was sent that stamp. I didn't want to just send it back, so I took it.
They're a sneaky one, this client. So they were trying to get on her good side. So, you met the person that asked you to do this job? And you talked with them? What's this about a good luck charm you received?
I can't talk about it.
Huh?
If I do, it won't work anymore. That's what I was told.
Yeah, but I really, really have to know. 2. Right, time to do some psych unlocking. Alright. One more time. You seem to trust this client, quite a lot in fact. Because they gave you this stamp.
No, that's not why. They listened to me, to my problem.
The problem that keeps her inside all the time?
Don't go outside if you don't want to. That's what they told me. But when I absolutely have to go out, all I had to do was use a good luck charm.
A good luck charm? That your client gave you? I think I know what your client might have given you, actually. Is this your good luck charm? Nail polish. This was what they gave you, wasn't it? The same bottle's over there on your desk. Your good luck charm, right?
I heard once. Cosmetics were once thought to ward off evil. This is a magic bottle. It has the power.
Of course it does. I'll just refrain from commenting any more on that one. I think I know who gave you that bottle, actually. The one who asked you to do this job. Was this the client? Not your Misham. This man is a friend of mine. Know him? His name is Christoph Gavin. He's a lawyer, actually.
I promised. I promised not to tell.
Christoph!
I'm sorry. I can't talk about the client. I promised. And if I break my promise, the spell won't work.
I don't need a name anymore. I've got my answer. You're pretty confident in this charm, then.
I think they might be the devil.
Huh?
Or maybe an angel.
What do you mean?
I saw it. Or I think I saw it when they gave me this. I saw the devil's face.
Are you saying the client's face looked like the devil's?
No, the client was gentle, with a gentle smile.
So where'd you see this devil, then?
It was so quick, I don't remember well. But that's when I knew that person wasn't like other people. That's why I believe in my good luck charm.
I'm not sure what this devil she saw was, but it's pretty clear that Christoph Gavin has her charmed. Well, I think that's all. I'll be leaving now. I'm sorry for what happened. If you want to apologize, try my client, Zach Gramery.
Did I do something bad?
What makes you think that?
Your eyes. They're sad. Very sad.
I'll put on my smile next time I come. Promise. I hope to see you smile then too, Vera.
Oh, okay.
Take care. Thinking back on my first encounter with the young forger, I witnessed something of vital importance that day. Of course, by the time I realized it, it was already too late. Last place to go here. "7 years ago, detention center visitors room. What strange sight doth mine eyes behold? Excuse me? 2 men on either side of a single transparent pane, yet it seems fickle fate has switched sides, so to speak. The forger of fakes walks freely, while the innocent languishes between these plexiglass confines. There's been no proof that I forged anything, nor proof that I took the life of my dear mentor. Yet, these chains cannot hold me for long. The stage awaits. And what, may I ask, awaits you? A little piano and a cold little hole in the wall. But since you are here, what shall we discuss? The shooting of Magnifi Gramery, for one. Who pulled that trigger, Valant or his partner Zack? His partner vanished before the answer could be found. If I'm gonna get any closer to the truth, this is the place to start. I have to hand it to my partner. He knows how to make an exit. That's talent. Yes, he made my attorney's badge disappear, and he never even touched it. Glory's spotlight always leaves someone weeping in the shadows, yet his very disappearance is itself a revelation. Revealing what? Zack Gramery killed Magnifi. It's as good as a signed confession. That's certainly been public opinion's take on it. I grow tired of my cage, and the time of my release is near. I must go and prepare. Planning on jumping back into the magic right away? As long as an audience awaits with bated breath, there will be valet. And also, yes, now that my partner has disappeared, Magnifi's repertoire is mine. Valiant Gramery has a tradition to uphold. Is that true? Seen in this light, the trial was quite good to me, verdict or no. And you can't pay for that kind of publicity. The suspicion on you hasn't lifted entirely, Valiant. After all, you received one of those letters too. You were just as obligated to follow Magnifi's instructions as your partner. So I was, but only Zack Gramery followed them. Let us not speak any more of who shot what. Now that my partner has vanished, the question is moot. I'm more interested in learning something else, actually. What might that be? I want to know what Magnifi had up his sleeve. How could he coerce you and your partner to kill him? The trick up his sleeve? Perhaps you do not know. Know what? A great magician never reveals his secrets. Ah, yes. 4? I didn't think it would be that easy. The audience must remain forever in the audience, bathing in the reflected glow of the spotlight. You can try? Let's see. I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this one. There must be a path leading from the evidence to the truth. And that's what I'm going to find. To ask someone to take a life, even one not long for this world, that's asking someone to commit murder. Yes, our mentor was fond of dramatic moves and dramatic finales. And he got his wish. His life was taken. What weakness could be so powerful as to coerce someone into committing murder? My guess it was a matter of life or death. Care to explain? Your troupe lived in a world of showmanship. The flashier the better. And flashy so often means danger, doesn't it? Let us make this as painless as possible. If you have proof of this danger, then show it. Why, that's one of ours. Specially designed for your show, I gather. A single bullet. One shot. What are you suggesting? We are magicians, Mr. Wright, not murderers. I'm not crying murder, Mr. Valiant. I'm crying something far more tragic. An accident. Zack and Valiant's quick draw shoot 'em. How long has it been since those shots were last heard? Was the shoot 'em canceled because someone might get hurt? Of course. What other reason could there be? Well, it could have been canceled because someone had already been hurt. Fascinating, my Faustian forging friend. But tell me, what can you prove with a single pistol? Well, tell me what could have happened if there had been an accident. What if one of your bullets took a life on stage? The performance of magic is not concerned with what-ifs. It is concerned with precision. Precisely whom do you claim we shot? Looks like I've chosen the right path. Let's just hope it walks with me. A life was sacrificed so that the show might go on, and this shows who it was. A word, if I may. Yes? Does it excite you to know that you stand at a critical moment in your quest? Yeah, it does. Sort of. Then you never make it on stage. What? But that's... Zach Gramarye's wife, and Trucy's mother. The Lhasa, I believe was her name. Alcazar! But how can you say this? How can you say she was struck by one of our bullets? Still in denial mode, eh? The Lhasa was at the greatest risk of being shot, and this clearly shows just how much danger she was in. Troop Gramarye's performances were very, very popular. So popular, they even made a commemorative stamp at the height of your fame. We were not merely the latest craze, we were an age, a golden age. It's all here on this stamp. There's the Lhasa, yes? Trucy's mother is missing, I hear. What happened to her? I don't know! A part of his memory is still locked up. There is one thing you're failing to address. What's that? As you say, our troop was a world unto itself. If our leader, Magnifi, was so inclined, he could hide anything he wished with ease. But, Mr. Wright, then he would have hid a crime, making him an accomplice. Not a great foundation for blackmail. Valent's got a point. If one of the troop members died in an accident and Magnifi covered it up, his innocence would come into question. Found the right address, Mr. Wright? I'm so close. There has to be something. About how the Lhasa's death could affect Zack and Valent's relationship with Magnifi. I see in your eyes. You still have something to say. How can you possibly prove more than you already have? I'll prove why the Lhasa's accident tied your hands so completely. It's going to take a little knowledge of the players to crack this one. The accidental death of Zack's wife tied both your hands, and this information proves why Magnifi held so much power over you. It wasn't a question of who shot the Lhasa. The Lhasa herself was the problem. What do you mean? She was Zach Gramarye's wife, Trucy's mother, and Magnifi Gramarye's only daughter. Ugh. There was a terrible accident, and the two of you killed your mentor's only daughter. If that wasn't the key to Magnifi's power over you, I don't know what was. It was an accident! There's no proof. None at all. But the Lhasa went missing, and your mentor blackmailed both of his disciples. It doesn't take a genius to put one and one together. Ours was a complex family. You mean Troop Gramarye? The master, Magnifi Gramarye, his only daughter, and his two disciples. That does sound like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Do not be tempted into faulty flights of fancy. Yes, there was an accident. But that is all it was. An accident. Zack and Valent's tour de force. The guns blaze, the bullets fly straight toward that beautiful body on stage. And then crash, zing, pow, into everything but her. Now that is magic. It happened one day when we were practicing. Same trick with a new twist. And tragedy. But as for whose bullet stole the Lhasa's life, we shall never know the answer. The Lhasa disappeared from our lives, and Zack was bereft of his wife. Trucy lost her mother, and Magnifi, his daughter. And that led to blackmail, I take it? It is all part and parcel of the darkness that comes when the curtain falls. Why did Magnifi Gramarye try to cover up the accident? It was his own daughter who died. All I can say is, it was a critical time for Troop Gramarye. A passing of the torch from Magnifi to Zack and Valent. We all sacrificed so that it might be a success. The Lhasa's death was the greatest sacrifice of all. Yet, even when her life was extinguished, her presence was not. What do you mean? In time, we, myself and Zack, found we could no longer continue to oppose Magnafy's wishes. Magnafy forced us to perform his art for his benefit. I see. I guess I can understand. I mean, he did lose his only daughter. But do you not find cowardice in his actions? Huh? To decide to hide the truth of your own daughter's death is one thing, but then to hang that death as a guillotine above our heads? Things were dark behind the scenes in Troop Grammary, that's for sure. Does Trucy know? She was not told, naturally. Who would want to know that their father might have taken their mother's life? True. I had not thought of that accident for a very long time. I'm sorry to dredge up old memories, but this has helped a lot. Not to find Magnafy's slayer, I should think. True. After that accident, there was one who came sniffing, quite persistently. A reporter? He called himself a newsman at the time. I often spied him lurking about the dressing room doing his research. Would you happen to remember his name? What was his name? Sorry, I have forgotten. But in the course of this interviewing, he became quite close to my partner, Zack. I liked him not. I see. His name, I do not recall, but his scent, the cloying aroma of mint. Yes, whenever he smiled, which was far too often. I see. Thanks for your help. It does no good to interfere with the past, Mr. Wright. You will not uncover answers, only wounds. I'm sorry. I had begun to notice a dark curtain hanging over Troop Grammary, and I began to realize what I had to do. I had to protect Trucy from that darkness. The reporter he mentioned, the newsman. I never learned who that was at the time. Though I've got a pretty good idea who it is now. That smile, and the sickly sweet smell of mint. The last floss-thin thread connecting Zack Grammary to this world. Sooner or later, I'd have to track him down. And now we just have the present to figure out. True Studio. And Sunshine Coliseum, okay. Well, that is actually where we're going to stop for today. Roll the end card.
Objection! You haven't hit like and subscribe yet! Hold it! You forgot to ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload! Take that! Click here to watch more of my videos! Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!